1.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I now call these hearings regarding the Hillsborough County Vehicle for Hire Ordinance 18-25 as amended to order. Please silence all electronic devices during these hearings. Could everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you so much. My name is Star Brookins, and I'll be serving as the hearing officer today, appointed by Hillsborough County Code Enforcement Department to hear these appeals. The basic process for these hearings is as follows. Ms. Rodriguez, who is to my right, will conduct the oath of witness. Your case will be announced, and you must come forward to the podium. The county will present the evidence on your case. You will be allowed to rebut the evidence and present any evidence that you may have. I may ask questions during this process if necessary. I will then close the hearing and issue a written order within 15 days of today's date. Pursuant to Ordinance 18-25, Section 10-597, either the agency and/or the department or a respondent may appeal an order of the hearing officer by means of petition for writ of certiorari to the circuit court within 30 days following the issuance of the order. The responsibility for and the cost associated with preserving a written record of the hearing for appeal and providing such written records to the circuit court shall rest with the party appealing the order. If you have any questions about any of these procedures, please refer to Hillsborough County Ordinance 18-25 as amended. At this time, I'll turn it over to Ms. Rodriguez to conduct the oath of witnesses.
Those of you giving testimony, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated. The first case is on page 2, item appeal number 1A, case number RCV 2104919, PVDL number 937402. The appellant is Alan Gordon, and he's appealing the denial of the public vehicle driver's license. The address of record is 10119 Belgrave Road. Can you please approach, please? Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Alan Gordon. I live at 10119 Belgrave Road, Tampa, Florida, 33626.
Jeff Grant, Regulatory Compliance, Hillsborough County, 2709 East Hannah Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33610. On April 6, 2021, Mr. Alan Gordon had his application for a public vehicle driver's license denied by the Hillsborough County Tax Collector pursuant to a criminal background check for having been convicted or found guilty of a disqualifying offense as specified in Section 10-585, subsection Echo of the Vehicle for Hire Ordinance. In accordance with the ordinance, he requested an appeal through the Regulatory Compliance Office. Within the 10-day time frame of receipt of the delivery date of this notice of denial issued by the tax collector. In 1989, Mr. Gordon was convicted for robbery in the first degree in New York State. Ma'am, that's the only information that I have for this case, just what the disqualifying crime was.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Gordon, do you have what's your response to that? Why should the appeal be granted?
Well, I'm horrified to say that what Mr. Grant said is true. And this did occur in 1989. I mean, it's a long story that it disgusts me that I even have to stand here and talk about this. But this was actually a family matter. I did commit the crime as stated, I suppose, but it's a long story. But when the cops got involved in it and said, "Did you do this?" I said, "You're damn straight I did," because I was adamant that in this family matter, I wasn't wrong. Now, it's been a long time, and I'm not going to take that position now. But it's been a very long time, and things have happened before that, working with my family and spending many, many years working with them, and then it all turning south and getting, as I still look at it, getting ripped off was a huge factor. Since then, though, I've moved on. I mean, I paid the price for it. Since then, am proud of the way my life has turned out. I am extremely hardworking. I'm active in my community. I'm active in my church. I mean, I don't mean to go on and on and on and pat my own back, but maybe I kind of have to here. I was, of the three of I have two siblings, there's three of us. I took care of my parents in the elder years. I took care of my in-laws in the elder years. I've lost them all now. I have 8 years of volunteering with the Tampa Bay, the Humane Society of Tampa Bay. I had to stop when my mom became really needy a couple of years ago, and then COVID put a big dent in everything. But I have maintained over several years, literally 7 days a week worth of work. Since all of this occurred, I was the assistant manager for Hillsborough Diamonds. I was hired with having disclosed my background to them and interviewing with several people. And I left of my own accord to move on. I maintained Sears for 16 years, Rooms to Go for 13 years. They overlapped. I had other part-time jobs. I worked and worked and worked, paid a ton of bills. My wife had a brain operation that wasn't covered by insurance. I paid it off. And still managed to volunteer. I'm a licensed pilot. I've been through hearings like this with the Federal Aviation Administration and recovered my pilot's license. I am now in the process of working toward my commercial pilot's license. And before I invest the time and money, which is considerable to achieve that, I made sure that there wouldn't be a hindrance, that I would be able to progress and fly commercially. Let me qualify that. Commercial pilot doesn't mean I can fly an airliner. It means I can fly those airplanes that I can fly for hire. And all I want to do is instruct. I just want to do basic instruction. But the license gives me more latitude than that. And I've been approved for that. I don't know how to explain that. I live my life by a code. This crime became, in this state of information, this became a lifelong sentence. I've been shot down for jobs. I've achieved jobs. When I present myself, sometimes they can see past that. Hopefully you can see past that. I currently work for the Hillsborough County Tax Collector's Office, and I disclose this all to them. And interestingly enough, there are only 6 people in Hillsborough County that get involved in these PVDLs, and I know them all. I saw them all yesterday. I mean, and this is a horrifying situation for me. Fortunately, only my direct supervisor and the manager of the office, the 2 of the 6, are familiar with what I'm doing here today and why. And they've both wished me well, but they can't control it. I don't know how else to explain that. I live my life by a code. I wake up with this every day. Yes, this happened, but I've carried it around now forever, and it's never going to go away. I mean, anything I apply for, anything I try to do, homeowners associations, I have to go through this again and again and again. But I use it to better myself. I use it so that I don't have to be, when I look in the mirror, the person that I might appear on paper. And I'm sure when I walk out here, I'll say to myself, oh, I should have told him this, I should have told him that. The things that I do, the things that I've tried to do. I like to think, the favorite uncle. I don't have any children of my own due to, it just didn't happen for us, but I'm happily married, and I have a great relationship, and I own my home. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm trying, I'm working now. I lost during COVID, a bunch of things happened. We had a really bad car accident. My mom passed away. The store I worked at Rooms to Go shut down, and we were all out of work. My mom passed away the day before they reopened the store, and I was one of 4 people out of the 13 salespeople that were called back because I'm an award-winning performer there every year, but I couldn't take that because my mom had just passed. So then I had to wait for the next wave, and then nobody was wearing masks. And I just said, you know what, I'm not doing it. I retired earlier. I'm 66. I retired earlier than I planned to. Then I found I got nothing to do. And plus, you know, I needed to work. So I'm working. I just lined up to go back to them 2 days a week, starting in mid-August. But I still would like this opportunity to work as a chauffeur. I've been hired pending the outcome of this, just to supplement this and maintain, you know, a lifestyle of sorts and be busy. I mean, I don't know how to not. And then this commercial license, if I can pursue it, is going to cost money. So I need to work. But I'm appealing that you can see me, you know, beyond what it says on paper. In 1989, the event occurred in 1988. The conviction was in 1989. It's been a very, very long time. And I have tried every day to become not that person.
Have you been convicted of any other crimes since that crime in
No.
1989?
No, I don't have nothing. No.
Is this your first time applying for this license?
It is. I was looking for, you know, just different things I could do, part-time stuff. And, you know, this opportunity came up. I explained to them when I interviewed, and they said, well, probably no problem if the county hired you. So I was kind of surprised, but, you know, I had to go get fingerprinted, and brings up everything. I mean, like I said, the FAA went through it. I went to a hearing like this, and actually it was on the telephone and in writing, but it went on for months. And I was shaking when I got the letter, but I got it, you know, and it's, you know, it's something I hope you can see.
Right, right. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Mr. Gordon. Is there any other evidence that you want to present?
No, I could supply you with a list of employers, but I just as soon not drag them all in. But I mean, like my supervisor and my manager at the tax collector's office, it's David Raplogle and Rachel Clark. They're aware that I'm here today, and certainly you can check with them if you like. I've only been with them since February 1st, but I think that I'm well regarded there. I keep on getting these impressions in the computer and saying, you know, I'm doing well and all. I mean, I try hard. I take pride in everything I do.
Right.
And I really want to get this past me. You know, I think if I lived 100 years ago, I'd have moved to Montana and would have gone away, you know, but this is never going to go away, apparently.
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And you know, unfortunately, sometimes the statute is what the statute is, and the ordinance says what the ordinance says. But I did want to make it a point to let you know that it seems like you have been doing wonderful things in the community and wonderful things for yourself to move past that. So I don't want you to think that this in any way should discourage any of that behavior, because that is something that is very important. And, you know, this one incident doesn't define you, and it's not going to stop you from accomplishing all the things that you want to accomplish. Okay. So let me turn it back over to the county and see if they have anything further. But I did want to just state that and put that on the record.
I
It
appreciate
seems
that.
that you're doing great things. So, you know, don't let that hinder you in any way. Okay.
Thanks. No, I appreciate you saying that. And I promise you nothing's stopping me, but I hope that won't stop me from getting a PVDL either. But thank you.
I understand.
Have a seat.
Is there a place for me?
You want me up here?
Do you just want to just stand there for a second?
Sure, sure.
Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, and I just wanted to point out, as part of the process, he did get fingerprinted, and it was a nationwide criminal history check. So obviously, he's not a career offender. This was the only criminal history that he had in the past 30 years. So
Right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna take this under advisement, and I'll issue an order within 15 days from today. It should come out relatively quickly. But thank you guys so much for being here and for your professional presentations. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Glick. Thank you. It's,
You're done.
Yes, sir. You're done. You're excused. Thank you.
The next case is item B, case number RCV 2104920, PVGL number 372593. The appellant is Anthony L. Tripp. and he's appealing the denial of the public vehicle driver's license. The address of record is 10603 Burner Lane. Sir, please state your name and address for the record.
It's Anthony Lee Tripp. It's 10603 Burner Lane, Riverview, Florida, 33578.
Jeff Grant, Hillsborough County Regulatory Compliance, 2709 East Hannah Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33610.
Mr. Grant, you may proceed.
Okay. On March 25th, 2021, Mr. Anthony Tripp had his application for a public driver's license denied by the Hillsborough County Tax Collector pursuant to a criminal background check for having been convicted or found guilty of a disqualifying offense as specified in Section 50-179, Section Echo of the Trespass Towing Ordinance. In accordance with the ordinance, he requested an appeal through the Regulatory Compliance Office within the 10-day time frame of receipt of the delivery date of the notice of denial. Mr. Tripp has 2 convictions for indecent assault of a child under 16 in 1995 and 1999, which he did disclose as required on his original PVDL application. Mr. Tripp successfully appealed a denied PVDL application in 2016 to the Public Transportation Committee that PVDL subsequently expired after being renewed one time. Mr. Tripp currently works as a driver for a towing company, but without a PVDL cannot do trespass tow work, which he has previously done. So he has effectively already held the position he is applying for with no reported problems, and he's currently working in a related field with no reported complaints. As a trespass tow driver, his contact with the public will actually be more limited than it is as a regular tow driver.
Mr. Tripp,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have any evidence that you'd like to present or any statements that you'd like to make?
Yes, ma'am.
You may proceed.
The 2 instances that occurred, is the first one was with my girlfriend at the time, Miss Kristen. And I was 19, she was 16. Her father turned around and called us and didn't want to be us together. I was still on probation. The last violation that we were together, we got called again together. And they turned around and sent me to prison. I went and did I did 15 years mandatory. When her father found out how much time I was facing, he tried to take his statement back. And the court does not allow that. So I was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Upon that time, her father and mother appealed the decision. They fought with me. To this day, that same father is my best friend. The same girl is my wife. We have been together. We were married. We were married immediately after I was released, because in DOC, you're not allowed to be married. I now have my daughter, 4 kids. We've been married now for a long time. Her father's been with me for quite some time. It's a shame of what happened. I did my time. I came out. I applied for a PVDL. Ms. Scotty, or Mr. Laddie from Crockett's Towing, was my first hire on. He took me with no problems. He knew me. And when it came time for my PVDL, he came stood beside me and we fought to get my PVDL, and I was denied. And when I went back downtown, when it was originally the PVDL before it switched over to DOT, I was approved. And I appealed my decision and I was approved for it. And he stood beside me. Since that time, I've done towing and have stayed part of the towing world. It's what I know. I live down here in Riverview. As I stated earlier, I was elected the HOA president for my community. I've held that position now for the last 4 years. I manage the bank accounts, all the residents. I collect and receive payments from everybody in the neighborhood. I process all the billing, and I send out all the bills. I've been working for the towing company right now for the last almost 6 months, going on 7. My boss knows everything about me. I didn't hide nothing from him. He's here today with me also. And my PVDL expired on 4/30/2017. My wife had a stroke, and she had a heart attack while she was still inside the hospital. I stepped out of the towing. I didn't renew it. I had to take care of home first. I took care of my kids, made sure that everything was good with them. And she's gotten better. She now works for the Hillsborough County School Board as a teacher. So she's doing better. She still has some problems, but she's still doing. I have returned back to towing. That's what I love, and I've been doing it since I was 16. As he had stated earlier, I have not been in trouble since then. I have my certification in electrician, plumbing. I've done every public service I could. I've got certification for rotation, for what they call recovery of the vehicles when they roll over, through Crockett's Towing before they merged and went to Guardian. I now work for Ballard Towing, and it's a good company. They treat me like family, and they stand beside me. The reason why I'm applying for the PVDL to be reinstated is I fought hard to get it the first time, and it means something to me. I'm a CDL driver. I fought for my Class B license. The first time when I went into it, I had gotten a ticket and didn't know him. My boss from Express Towing stood beside me, and we went and we got my CDL license. And I'm now furthering my CDL to a Class A. And since I've been with this company here, my boss is actually looking into getting a bigger truck so we could move further with the company. I found me a home, and I want to stay in that home. You asked if I had anything that I could present to show you. Since I've been working for this company, I have their reviews that's off of Google. If I can give them to somebody.
Yeah. Mr. Green, are you okay with this? Do you have any objection?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you.
No other comments?
On there, you can see I've done public work with everybody. I work very hard to further myself. I study anything that comes out. I've went to different dealerships. I've learned different things with the cars that are newer, that are like the Teslas, how to tow them where you don't damage them. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I've worked very hard, and I've not been in trouble. My wife will be here today, but she's doing the summer school prep work, I guess. She's getting ready for schooling. I've spoke to Mr. Grant several different times, waiting for this hearing to come up. I guess I'm the very few have ever been done.
Mhm.
And my boss has been very patient with me trying to fight this. I don't know what else. I mean, I have a copy of one of my PVDL when I first got it. And especially, sorry, I left it one page. My apologies. My son was going to try to be here as long as my daughter, but they turn around, they got their own child they have to take care of right now. So I'm kind of stuck. But I've been in touch with Mr. Grant waiting for this to come about. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to show you, to prove that I can do what I want, that I can make this here in the PVDLs. The impounded vehicles, removing stuff, and take care of the cars. That's what I know, and I'm good at it. I've tried to further myself in whatever I can learn from whatever company, and I can further the company. And I hope you'll take a second to listen to what my boss has to say also.
Definitely. Mr. Grant, do you have any objections to this being admitted either?
I do not know.
Mr. Tripp, do you need any of these items back?
No, ma'am,
Would you like to call your boss up?
please.
That's fine.
Hello, my name is Ahmad Saleh. I'm the
State your address as well, please.
502 Wedgefield Place, Brandon, Florida 33510. I am the manager of Bilal Towing. I'm also the owner. It's a family business. My dad started the business, but I've taken over the past 2 years, and I went from having one truck to now I have 5 trucks. I have 8 employees. Tony has been one of my best drivers. I've hired in the towing business. It's super difficult to find drivers, to actually find people that do it the way we do it because we're a family business. I like to take care of my customers. We treat everyone like family. And Tony has been great since the beginning of it. He always, I mean, I've gotten numerous calls from people on the side of the road that he just stopped by to help out, take them away from, danger on the side of the highway, never charged them anything, never asked for anything, literally picks up people and takes them off the highway just for the peace of mind, just so he feels better about it. So I know in his heart that he's a good person and I would like him to stay on my team. We have expanded, so now we're doing some trespass towing. We manage some properties, and Tony being one of my best drivers, I would like him to manage that field. And it's difficult for that to happen before he gets his PVDL. So I'm hoping that he's able to get his PVDL so we could actually proceed how we had planned instead of him maybe not being able to do the job that he's supposed to.
Okay. If he's unable to get his PVDL, will he still have a job at your company?
Where the business is going right now, we're gonna need someone to actually manage the trespass towing. And if it's not going to be Tony, someone else will have to replace him. And I mean, he might still make a living with us, but it's definitely won't be what we planned.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I just, from my experience, Tony has been great, and he did disclose to me from the beginning when he applied for the job, because we do background check and we're very specific because we go on the base. We work all over the Tampa Bay area, and I would like to know that my employees are fit for the job. He did disclose it. He was honest. He told me everything, and I gave him a shot, and I'm glad I gave him. So I hope you guys give him a shot too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Tripp, do you have anything else to add or anything else to present?
Just the one thing. I may have did the time with my girlfriend and now my wife. And even looking back on everything that I've done in the past, I wouldn't change it. I love my kids. I love my wife. And I love my job. And I worked hard to be the person I am. I may have got a setback. I'm not going to stop. I work hard to move forward to take care of her.
Right.
And my boss has stood beside me in some hard times. And I would like to continue working with him. And I'm willing to do whatever you ask me to do to prove to you. I've not been in no trouble. I've been with my wife the whole time, and I've had my kids with me the whole time.
Okay. Have you been convicted of any other crimes other than the 1995 and 1999?
No, ma'am.
No. And were both of those convictions related to
Yes,
your
ma'am.
wife?
It was the first one I got put on probation, and we were still young and dumb. And we still had, Dad finally called me and said, look, you just because they moved and we got back together again, and it ended up being another my violation. And just for the record also, before I was sentenced to the 15 years mandatory time, I fell short of the Romeo and Juliet law by 2 days. When the law was passed, we thought, my lawyer and family, we all thought that was going to be something that was going to benefit me because I would have dismissed it and I would have got pretty much, probation and carried on my life. But when they announced it, they said they would not retro it. We fought for over 7 years. My grandmother lost her house trying to fight that with my lawyer. They put everything up, including her mom and dad, to help me. And when it was finalized that I wasn't going to get out, I accepted it and just moved forward. They came up and saw me almost every other weekend. And I was in the tip of Panhandle, or what they call up by FSP, and I was all up in Whitehall, Kitcha. That's right at the tip of Florida where the little U-Shoot is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5.5-hour drive. And they still made it to come see me. And they were at the gate when I walked out the gate. And I don't hold no regrets against her father for that. because he was protecting his girl. And when he found out what was actually going to happen, he tried to take the statement back, and he couldn't. And when I was issued my PVDL, I thought I was high on the world because that's how I felt. And I loved it. And then when she got sick, I couldn't do nothing. You had to make hard decisions. I lost my car. She lost hers. To make, ends meet, you learn to sacrifice a lot of things I didn't know about. You have to sacrifice some things to keep things running.
Right.
I'm still learning.
That's great.
Ms. Perkins, this is Paul Johnson with the County Attorney's Office.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing? If I may, I have a couple of questions for Mr. Tripp.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Tripp, I'm looking at your DOC printout, and it lists total of 6 offenses that were committed between 1994 and 1996. You were sentenced for all of them in 1996. Would you like to rephrase what you said earlier about the 2 offenses?
Yes, sir. Before that was all, when I went in the first time I was on probation, I had actually broke into I jumped the fence of a golf course. And me and my friend, we took a couple of the golf carts around for joyrides. And because those were moving vehicles, they consider those the Grand Theft Autos. But the golf course itself, it gave me probation. And then on top of the new charge with the other probation, I got the mischievous mischief. I got the B&E and the Grand Theft. But it was a golf cart, not an actual cart. And I actually have all my criminal records if you like to see those. But that was, like I said, I was young, and at the time they said that they wasn't going to hold it against me, but I broke my probation, and I still was sentenced. And we worked out something, but the mandatory time was the one-to-one charge. The judge showed in the book he could not change it. He could not alter it because of the law stated it. And the remorse that was presented by him to my family in the courtroom, you had to understand that his hands were tied and he could not change nothing. Whether he understood what my family was going through, he still couldn't change it. But yes, sir, those were all my charges before me doing anything, yes. But I've not been in trouble since then with anything.
What about the March 26, 1995 offense? I'm looking at lewd and lascivious, indecent assault on the child under 16.
That's my wife, sir.
Okay.
That's the violation of my probation.
What about the Pasco County charge that you were sentenced to 15 years on?
Yes, sir. I was at my grandmother's house. If you look at the address on there, it's 7124 Decision Road, Land O'Lakes, Florida. That's my grandmother's house that we were actually at. They do not charge you from your home address. They charge you from where you were at. And that's why I was sentenced in Pasco County. If you like, I can give you the detective's name.
I'm showing these as 2 different offenses, one in 1999 in Pasco County, one in 1995 in Pinellas County. In Pinellas County, you were sentenced to a year and 5 months in DOC custody. And in the Pasco County one, you were sentenced to 15 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
They turn around and put it back together immensely, yes.
One thing I do want to clear up on the documents that I've been provided, I've looked up in the public records. Your Department of Corrections indicates that the offenses was on someone under 16 years of age. The clerk of court for Pasco County indicates it was a person under 12 years of age. So your testimony is that the person was under 16?
Yes, sir. It's a case, if you look at the case itself, that's the state law that they had to put down as the documentation. If you like, I can give you the detective's name and phone number, and you can call and speak with him. Because we had the same conversation when he showed up at my house when I first was released. He said the same thing, and we got into an argument. And he actually left and went back and reviewed my case and took my court records and read them from page to page in front of me. And then we had a conversation again, and he met my fiance at that time, met my wife.
Okay, you may want to get together with the Pasco County Clerk's Office and get that corrected on their printouts.
We've tried. They will not.
They're
They
showing
won't open up.
under 12.
I didn't hear what he said.
Can you repeat the last thing you said, Mr. Johnston?
Do what now?
Can you repeat the last thing you said about the Pasco County Clerk?
I said I indicated he may want to contact them about getting that corrected. Evidently, there's a discrepancy between what the Pasco County Clerk of Court has on their printout and what the Department of Corrections has on theirs.
Mr. Scott actually turned around and tried to get that took care of. And to my knowledge, he had fixed that because he had met with all of us. But I will get in contact with Scott just to reframe and ask him to see about that. I believe he's now, I don't know if he's still a detective. I think he's now a lieutenant, but I will still try to contact him. I still stay in contact. I
have nothing further, Ms. Perkins. Thank you.
Thank you. What were you saying, Mr. Shep?
I still talk to him every now and then. I still keep his number because when I came home, he was the man who came to my house and first introduced himself to me. And we bumped heads right off the get-go because I was coming home and I was not expecting the reaction that I was receiving. And when my mom got involved with it and my fiance at the time and her dad got involved and we all had a long conversation, he went back and pulled all the records and read them. And then came back and told me in front of my family, and that's why I respect for him, he was wrong. He misinterpreted what it was. That it wasn't a baby, it wasn't a child, it wasn't someone like that. But two kids who, me being older, I was 19, her being 16. So he fixed that there and we still got together.
You referenced that you have a printout of your charges. Did you bring that with you?
It's the court paperwork.
Oh, okay.
It's the whole, what do you call it? When the person sits over here and they do all the typing,
The court reporter, so the transcript.
that thing. I'd have to actually ask my mom because it's actually a book.
Okay.
And since I moved, I never took it up from the house. I try to keep it all in one spot where I don't lose it. But if you like, I can try to ask her if I can come up there and come get it.
No, it's fine. I don't think I'll need that. But I'm gonna do some research and do a little digging. And then what's the name of that detective that you were mentioning?
I get it to you. I'm all out there. That's his person.
Okay.
Out of respect, I just don't want to.
Understood.
Hey, ma'am, can I give you one more person to talk to, if
Of course.
you don't mind? I apologize, y'all.
No worries. Take your time.
I apologize again. Just 1 second. My apology, I don't think I have it in my phone no more.
It's okay.
I don't see her name, but she was one of the officers that we dealt with when we were going through the court case. I can ask my mom if she still knows the lady's name.
Are you required by law to register as a sex offender or predator?
Yes, ma'am. I do it 3 times a year. And if you call the office there and then talk to the detective who checks in, they can vouch for me. I've not been no trouble, and I stay out of trouble. They come to my house. 2 of the main officers one of the officers lives on my street who knows me for one, from me just being where I'm at. 2, his daughter and son would also ride the bus when they were riding the bus with my youngest son. So we got to know each other fairly well. And like most people say about the police, they judge quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't judge. He took time to talk to me, talk to my wife. His wife talked to my wife. And, on school bus, the kids going to be kids. But he actually talked, and granted, officers cannot make a statement. They cannot make a character's witness. They can't make no kind of judgment because of the lack of what it is, because they don't want no one to ever say anything bad against them. And by their code or they're not allowed to say anything in favor. Last time I was in front of the PVDL, there was 3 different officers that went and spoke. I guess you would call it privately. Just word of mouth here and there to let people know that they have dealt with me on the side of the road. I have stopped when an officer has a car in the middle of the road that's been an accident. I have stopped and offered to say, hey, would you like me to just hook it, at least move it out of the traffic way? I said, I don't want the call. I don't want the tow. I don't want nothing for it. Just kind of get it, move it where you're not in danger and I'm not, the person's not. And I've done that several times. But without having the PVDL, it's not like I can show up on the accident for a rotation. We can't get on rotation without me having my PVDL. And that alone is a benefit to the company because it's a whole nother bracket. It opens up more calls and more towing, especially for Hillsborough County. And it's beneficial to the company to be on rotation. And it also has been, people know me. There's officers that I've seen that know my face, not just because of my past, but they know who I am just for me being me.
Right. Okay. Mr. Grant, do you have anything further?
No, nothing further, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to take this under advisement and do a little bit more research and more digging. Like I was saying before, it's, the way that the ordinance is worded, it is what it is, right? That's what it says in there, and that's what we have to abide by. But I just want to do some more research to make sure that there's no other alternate means, okay?
Last time when this year came up, the one officer who was in charge of it had said that there is a probationary period that they can put you on a probationary period with your PVDL. Or I think it's 60 days or 30 days to make sure that you are doing it. And I don't know if I'm wrong or right on it because I know y'all switched.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be willing, if we could set that and do that, I would appear back here every 30 days to go by or to give you a statement, or I'm sure I can ask my boss to give you a statement.
Right. Okay.
To show it that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Great. Okay. We appreciate that. And thank you so much for coming here today and for bringing a witness with you. It was great insight to hear that, especially with being a few days short of the Romeo and Juliet law.
We fought hard to get that.
Right. Because that's the first thing I thought of when you said 19 and 16.
But when it came out, they would not retro it. And the incident, they don't go by the date that you're arrested. They go by the incident date.
Incident date, exactly.
And my lawyer said we couldn't. We held on to that for 3 years, thinking that I might. And the last judge we talked to, he had put it on record and said, he opened the book and turned it around and said, I can't. It's what the law states.
Exactly.
He said, I would grant it to you right now. He said, but I can't. They'll have me. And I understand it. But also understand too that people do make mistakes.
Exactly.
And people can change.
Exactly.
And I've done everything I can to move forward and show myself that I am a person deciding without being in trouble.
Right, right. And I think you've done a great job of demonstrating that. So, you know, from what, just looking at these really quickly and hearing from your boss and, you know, just hearing your story from you. So I just wanted to thank you for taking the time and sharing that with us. Just like very similar to what that judge said. Unfortunately, a lot of times our hands are tied, right? Because it's what it says in the ordinance and I have to go by that. But I did want to do a little bit more research, so that's why I'm not giving you a ruling today, but you're going to get an order within 15 days, so I can have enough time just to look at it a little bit deeper, right?
I appreciate that. I mean,
Of course.
I know this is, I guess it's one of the first cases anybody's ever come across. That's this me arguing about this here. I'm just asking people to just take a chance.
Right,
That's all. I won't let you down.
right.
And-
And I have no doubt that you wouldn't, especially based on what I've heard. You've had no problems, no complaints before, and you've been doing it. So
I love
that's
my
not the-
job.
Right, right. That's not the concern. But thank you so much. Does anyone have anything additional before we wrap up? All right. Thank y'all so much for being here today. You are dismissed.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Grant. Thank you.
Just one more thing. The approval of the minutes.
Yes. So at this time, we're gonna approve the minutes from the meeting on February 11th, 2019. And I will sign this and get this to you. And if there's nothing further from anyone else, we will adjourn at 2:17.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins.